Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm back from my little summer vacation from videos. We're going to do an all signs today. So we're going to start at Virgo and we're going to move all the way back to Leo. Um, September is a very exciting season. We're changing into fall, as you can tell by the little motif here. I'm getting ready for that chilly weather. We've also got a lot of eclipses, full moons, etc. Um, so there's a lot of changes. And as we know, everything in life has a season, and every season has a reason. So we're going to embrace that within these readings. So, like I said, we're going to start with Virgo and move on to Leo. So, happy birthday, my Virgos. And because we are about to enter into what they call the eclipse season, we're going to pull from the Moonology to get an overall view of what you need to know for your greatest and highest good coming September. All right, overall message for my Virgos. It says, hold your vision, fixed moon. And as you know, my dearest Virgos, it's hard sometimes being a mutable sign to embrace the fixed vision, right? Because we're normally very easy breezy, we go with the flow, whatever comes we adapt. So also, like, new ideas come and we move on to going from one thing to the next to the next. So there's some kind of vision that spirit's asking you need to hold on to in the month of September. So let's pull some tarot. The first thing we're going to look at is what is coming your way in September. Let's see. What can my Virgos expect for the month of September? What is coming? All right. Now, let's see, what do my Virgos need to release for the month of September? Okay, and third of all, what messages do they need for their greatest and highest good during this time? Okay. All right. So, with the Eight of Coins, what you can embrace or what is coming in the month of September, it says self-employed or seeking to be self-employed, achievement, work, mastery, commitment, detailed. Now, this could be about holding your vision, right? Maybe you've got a plan. Maybe there's something that you've been putting a lot of work into. And if not, maybe you need to buckle down on one of those ideas and keep that vision and start implementing things, strategizing things, putting things into place that have kind of been something you've wanted to do or something you've thought about but never really invested into. So I'm going to get some clarifiers for it just to get a more thorough look of what is coming. Because I know a lot of times we're like, I don't necessarily want to hear about me having to work. Because, of course, we have to work, right? But this could be something that, like I said, is not necessarily like your everyday job, but it's something that is important to you that needs to be invested into. Okay. So, what I'm getting is, like, with the Nine of Wands especially, this is like maybe something that you've tried and tried and tried again to get off the ground. Something that you put a lot of time, effort, and things in, and maybe you feel like it just hasn't really gotten anywhere, right? And a lot of those times when we feel that way, it's our choice whether to keep going or to give up, right? And with this Ace of Wands next to it, it's saying keep going. The effort is going to be worth it. And that's probably why they're saying hold your vision. Keep going. Go for that last push. Because once you get from the 9 to the 10, you're going to make it to the top of that mountain, right? And that's when the blessings are going to start to come in with the Six of Coins. So it's like that one last push, showing that I'm regardless of all the trials, the tribulations, all the way up the mountain, it's worth it, right? And that something beautiful is going to be born from it. It's going to bring you a lot of reciprocity. Now, what you need to release, the Ten of Coins. A lot of people are like, I don't want to release the Ten of Coins. Like, maybe you feel that you don't even have the Ten of Coins, right? Happy family, happy life, wealth, financial abundance, buying a house, security. So, the reason why I think Spirit is encouraging you to let go could be because maybe you have a fixed vision of how you want your Ten of Coins to look. And a lot of times we put so many details and expectations into something that we set ourselves up for failure. And when we release things, it's not like we're giving them up for good. We're, never gonna have this again. Maybe there's some part of your family that needs to be let go of. Maybe there's some things that need to be reworked, right? So it's time to surrender that idea. Let it be whatever is for your highest good instead of maybe putting too much expectations on it. So that way, when it does unfold, when you do get to that place of security, finality, buying a home, having the perfect partner, the family, the dog, all of those things, you'll enjoy it more. You won't be like, well, I didn't really want it that way. I wanted it this way. And that's a lot of times, what's that, what does that look like? It's good to have dreams, it's good to have desires, but putting too much emphasis on creating something perfect is kind of an illusion. So maybe it says to hold your vision, yes, but don't hold on to expectations, right? Because I think that you're headed into a very 10 season. We're next year going back into the 1 year. So it's like, just be more flexible, I guess, with what things are going to look like. I think the hold your vision is more around like your work, your dreams, your desires, more of like a creative project that you're trying to work towards. Yeah, see, this is what I'm getting. Maybe you thought a connection was the end all be all when you got into it, right? And ever since then, all you've had is hurt, pain, waiting. And that's why Spirit is encouraging you to walk away from it. Because it's like, maybe it's something that once looked great and grand and all of those things, but it just left you disappointed. It kept leaving you in a place of being stuck and stagnant. And so Spirit's like, you're not happy in this place. Whatever this place is, your happiness does not lie here. So it's time to kind of leave it behind and walk towards something different. Walk towards what's truly going to make you happy and not disappointed. And it's not saying you have to leave the person. Maybe it's just accepting the person for who they are. And then deciding whether you still want them in your life or not. But it does feel like something has really disappointed you. It's left you on hold. And it's just time to kind of walk away from it. And what's funny is you're walking away from it, and what happens? The world opens. Now, this is what Spirit has as a message for your greatest and highest good. Embrace that certain cycles have come to an end, and it's time to let the leaves fall. Because once you do, it's like you're recognizing you've completed this cycle, whatever this cycle was to you. Sometimes it's just learning certain lessons, etc. Achievement, success, sense of belonging, accomplishment, integration, wholeness, fulfillment, travel. So if you hold on to this, you'll never make it to this. And it's like, yes, keep working on the things that you have within yourself. Don't focus on anything outside of you to fulfill that. You keep going, because when you get into this world, you'll have all the achievement and love and all of those things open up for you. But on a whole new level, without all the lessons that you've had to learn this last time. Yeah, you see, 10 of Wands, Empress, Wheel of Fortune. That's that 9 plus that 1. If you can just continue down this path, keep pushing, value yourself enough to leave certain things that have not made you fulfilled behind, you're going to get to turn this wheel. It'll be your graduation into this new world. So it looks very beautiful, my Virgos. And again, happy birthday. I hope you have an amazing, amazing one. I'm going to also pull a love message, but I'm shuffling the cards back in just to get them out of the way, and that way I can use them for my next sign. And I probably should have done that before, but hey, this is an all sign, so we're just gonna go for it. All right, shuffle these back in. All right, to close it out, let's see what's coming in love, or what to expect in love. Just some final little love message. See what's coming. Ex-lover, addiction, and wedding. Okay. Well, this is very interesting. Okay, maybe you have to let somebody go, somebody that you either married or committed to in the past, because you know they were addicted. Either that, or they were addictive to you. You were addicted to them, right? And so maybe that's that 10 of coins, that fantasy of one day we'll get married, but right now we're having to go back and forth. So maybe during this time, it's like what you need to do is really take a look at your ex-lovers, look into the memories of them. Yes, they could be an old flame. They probably still have memories attached to them, but they weren't healthy for you. Addiction to me is just unhealthy. You will get married. The wedding is coming, but in order to get to this beautifully, happily ever after, you got to kind of look at your love style. You got to kind of look like, maybe I was addicted to the adrenaline of an ex-partner. Maybe they were addicted to something, and that's why they could never commit. Now, this, for some of you, this could be like a ex-lover returning, and you would two end up getting married. I'm not sure, but I kind of see it as this is like what you're losing, and this is what you're gaining: a strong, secure, stable partnership. So now that is the end of y'all's messages, Virgos. I love you guys so much, y'all. No, y'all are one of my favorites. And now we are going to put this back, and we move on to Libra. Let me write down 13, 14. All right, so my Libras. We're going to begin, like we did with Virgo, with the Moonology, being that it is eclipse season. Let's see what's going on with you all. What message do you need right now? The answers you need are coming. So right now you could be questioning something. You could be like, is this meant for me? Is this meant for me? Is that meant for me? It could be anything, right? There's something that you've been waiting for the answers on. And so maybe during this September, you will receive those answers. The first thing we're going to pull a card for is unexpected surprises that you might embrace in the month, or have come towards you in the month of September. The Fool. Okay. What do you need to release? Okay. And what do you need, or what does your spirit guides want you to know? All right. So the first thing, the Fool. Surprises, a new beginning, setting out, spontaneous adventures, idealistic potential, carefree, new beginning, being set free from whatever it is, and that possibly what you're releasing, right? And the Fool is exciting and a lot of fun. The world is the end and the beginning, all in one. So what I'm getting just overall images is you're letting go of the chaos. You're letting go of the static, embracing a new chapter in your life. You're ready. All right, that's what I get. You're ready to move forward. And that could be because you're getting the answers you need. Maybe you needed some sort of clarity. Maybe you needed some sort of clarification on where to go next. I'm going to switch up my clarifiers here. All right, so show me, what is this Fool about? What do we need to know about this Fool? These surprises coming. Okay. What I'm getting from this is there's something particular that you've been working towards. You have become a very powerful energy. But for some reason, you're feeling blocked. You're feeling stagnant. You're feeling like nothing is working out the way I thought it would. I've done all I can. I've healed the things I needed to. I've learned to love myself. I've learned to take care of me. But there's still something you feel that is uncertain. There's still that missing of, whether it be another person, soul tribe, whatever. And with the Fool being here, what I'm getting is, for the month of September, you've got a new beginning coming. That's going to break apart what you've been feeling is stagnant, boring, not exciting. You know, like, I moved past the past, I've gotten over it, but I'm still not feeling quite right. Like, things just aren't moving the way I thought they were. So I feel with the Fool, it's like breaking free from the things that have kept you stuck, right? Like, you have done the work, but you're feeling bored. So that's beautiful. Now, what we're releasing is the Tower. And if we're releasing the Tower, for me, that means either something unexpected happens that gives you the answers that maybe you did not want to hear. An uncomfortable truth. Something you needed to recognize about a certain situation in your life, and having to let it all just go. Let it crumble. Towers are not comfortable most of the time. Sometimes they're big surprises. But in the case of what are we releasing, I think we're releasing the chaos. The chaos of being stuck in something that we know we're no longer meant for, right? And so it's like, yeah, we're going to let the Tower fall, but we're also going to let it die too. We're going to be like, there may not be a place for it to be rebuilt. But let's see what the Tower's, some more information on this. Again, you get the Tower, the Knight of Wands, and the Hermit. What this gives me is maybe you are waiting for that person or that spark or something to get you moving, right? But instead of it getting you moving, because I feel like it's probably a person or a situation in your life that just was not reliable. It wasn't stable. It kept you always going within to seek more answers, to have to go in and heal more traumas, go in, look at more traumas, more shadows or whatever. And so, I think in September what you're doing is letting go of the idea that a spade is not a spade. Basically, like, whatever this is that you've kept going back to, looking for a different outcome. It's kind of like that definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and expecting a different result. It's kind of like you've got to start calling it like it is, and you're like, okay, in this month, whatever this is to me, it's kept me stuck. It's kept me in a place of whatever. I'm going to let it go. And it's what I see is it's going to help you to break free from a pattern of having to re-heal, like a similar wound. It's almost, the way I see it, is like a wound that as soon as it's like starting to heal, you rip it back open again, right? And then it's worse. So then you need antibiotics and all these things to get it to heal correctly. And over time, it's built up some scar tissue, so it doesn't feel horrible. But from the outside looking in, it looks pretty bad. So it's like finally letting go of that chaotic cycle in your life, right? And what Spirit's saying for your greatest and highest good is embrace it. Be like, okay, whatever you found out, whatever you needed, whatever clarification that made you feel like, okay, that one thing has kept me spinning in this loop for a long time and I've got to break free. But what that's doing is Spirit is saying, congratulations. That's all we needed you to do. Now we can give you all of the things that you've been looking for. Now let's get some clarifiers. Yeah. Okay. What I'm getting is something that you've been holding on to or keeping in, not wanting to change it. You're finally seeing that in order to embrace that magic within, you've got to trust that some things in life we have to let go of. Sometimes we have to change our visions a little bit to see the sun, right? Because the 4 was over here too. 44 can also be significant, but in order for things to happen, in order for energy to move, we can't hold on to them, right? We can't hold on to energy because then we get stuck in complacency. We get stuck in stagnant. So it's like in the month, your best thing to do is to learn to let it go. See the truth around it, embrace the truth around it, and realize that everything we lose isn't really a loss. Sometimes it is what actually we are able to use for power in the future. So I like that. All right, so I'm going to shuffle these back in. We're going to get some love messages for you, my dear Libras. But I know y'all have some birthdays in September as well. So for the September Libras, happy birthday. Happy early birthday. All right. And then, like I said, we're going to take a couple cards to see exactly if there's anything coming in love that you might be unaware of in this time. Let's see. What is coming for my Libras this month in love? Proposal. Divine intervention. Snake. Okay. Now we did see the Tower twice in your reading. And it says serendipity, catalyst, supernatural karma. What I'm getting from this is, like I said, sometimes in life we have to call a spade a spade. Somebody in your life has been playing on the idea of one day we're going to get married. One day we're going to have the perfect family. One day we're going to have everything. And you've held on to that hope of one day. But I think during this month, you're seeing that you've been kind of lied to, tricked, maybe even tempted by the idea of this person wants to marry me. What I'm feeling is this is the month to let it burn and to really, with the snake especially, this is also the year of the snake. It's time to shed that skin. It's been weighing you down. It's been keeping you, stagnant in a place of always waiting for that better day, right? When things finally work out in that situation. But don't be surprised if after you try to break yourself free, they come back saying, okay, I'm going to propose to you. I'm going to give you a ring. We're going to do this thing. But they don't have the best intentions. And unfortunately, that's not like the message most of us want to hear. Is like, damn, like they proposed to keep me stuck. But that's what snakes do, right? Snakes may shed their skin 500 times, but they're still a snake. So I do feel there will be a proposal in your future, but you're going to have to recognize, who's truthful about it and who isn't. Anyways, my dearest Libras, I love you so much. And now we're going to move on to Scorpio. Scorpio at 2521. Hello there, my dear Scorpios. We are on you. We're going to pull a Moonology. Getting into spooky season. Y'all got any big plans coming for y'all's birthday? I'm going to begin, because we're going into eclipse season, by pulling a Moonology card for some overall advice. We've got adjustments are required. Third quarter moon. Maybe there's some things in your life that you're going to have to adjust to this month. Things that once were fixed are now having to be changed up. And I know as a fixed sign, sometimes adjustments are harder for y'all than it would be a mutable sign. Mutable signs are pretty good at adapting to circumstance. Whereas fixed signs are like, oh, what do I do? So, first of all, we're going to look like what surprises are coming for the month of September, or what is coming towards you. Let's see. The Hermit. Alright, what are you needing to release? And messages for your greatest and highest good. Alright. So, what is coming? Some kind of self-reflection. I feel like maybe there's been a shadow or something dark in your life, or some kind of trauma in your life that you never quite saw clearly. You've never truly been able to heal. You're like, I know that it has to do with something, but I don't know how to find it. So I feel like answers that you've been seeking are coming this month. You may have been in solitude. You may have been looking for soul searching, looking for answers. And I kind of feel that there's some kind of resolve, some kind of truth, some kind of seeing the light on something that may have been confusing, or may have been leaving you in a place of confusion, right? Okay, now what you need to let go of. Page of Cups. There could be a person in your life that you have love for, but their style of love isn't really what you're searching for. They have a charm to them, is kind of the way I feel. They're good with words. They're playful. Being around them is fun. But they are a little, immature when it comes to love. And if you're looking for that happily ever after, it's probably not the person, right? So maybe you're needing to release that, or maybe you're needing to look at people from what they show you, a logical perspective, because the Page of Cups is all in with heart. They're not much into the logic, right? And so maybe it's time to get logical. Maybe you're having to release the dream of something and embrace the truth of something. Now, Three of Coins, advice from Spirit. I'm not really sure where they're going with that yet, so I'm going to get some clarifiers on each. But let's see, what was this Hermit about? Okay. All right. I see there's two gentlemen on each side of you. So that could be the surprise, like having to make a decision in between like your mind and your heart in regards to two particular individuals. And if it's not exactly two people, it could be like, what do you want? Maybe this is the answers you're finding, that hermit, right? Do you want a man that's going to be stable, money, like all about success and riches? Or are you going to go towards more of somebody that can love you correctly, right? Provider versus lover. Not saying that they both can't do both, but maybe there's people in your life that you're trying to decide, like, am I looking more for a stable family man, or am I looking for somebody that's just going to love me right? And maybe the answers are coming. Maybe you had questions about which one was best for you. I think maybe one, you liked the fact that they could buy you nice things. They had a good job. And then there's another one that really just had your heart. And so maybe you've been kind of separated from it both, having to make a decision, and that's where that truth comes in. But that could be what you've been searching for. And that's where the adjustment is also needed. Okay, why the Page of Cups is something you need to release. Okay. Alright. So, the reason why the Page of Cups is needing to be released is because I feel like you've been making excuses for something. Not wanting to see that something is done, right? Somebody is not, or something is not willing to give you what it is you're willing to give them. Like, you end up on the bad end every time. But you're like, but I love them. I feel I'm intuitively meant to be with them. I feel, and that's where this Page of Cups is. And that's probably why this Queen of Swords is here too, because she's the one that comes in with logic. She's like, I've got to make the logical decision. So I've got to get rid of something. So maybe you've been at this crossroads, like, I'm not going to choose either. I'm not going to look at who gives me what I need. I'm not going to look at who hurt me the most. But I think that's where the releasing is coming in, is because you're going to have to take this blindfold off. Because otherwise you're not going to know which way to go. I feel there's some kind of illusion that has been surrounding you about a loss and ending, or a need to end something. And as you can see, Alice has the Hare and the Mad Hatter all at this table, right? And they're all eating together. She's serving and they're eating. So I think this month is like you having to take off those rose-colored glasses that are like, but I love them. I don't want to look at the wrong things they've done because I love them. It's okay. It's fine. I'm a loving person. Let me be naive if I have to. And now you're like, I can't do it anymore. You're starting to see that it's time to be logical. It's time to really, just let go of something, because every time you give it a chance, it comes back and hurts you more. Now, advice from Spirit for your greatest and highest good. Let's see. And again, the Three of Coins. So I feel like either you've been put in a third party situation, or there is a choice between two. Again, we've got the 2 here at the bottom, the 2 over here, plus you. And Spirit's kind of saying you need to, like, heal that part of yourself that kept going after things that were taking advantage, I feel like. And it's time to get logical. It's time to do your research. It's time to really dig in and be like, if I'm going to collaborate, which one's going to have my back? Which one cares how my day is going? Which one cares that they're hurting me? Which one cares of making me happy? And I think that in itself is going to be a very healing and transformative thing for you. And even if there's nobody like right in your vicinity, it's basically saying like, in order to have the one that loves you truly, is learning the lesson of the ones who don't. Because if you don't learn the lesson, all you're going to do is repeat it, basically. So it's like this month is a month that you're finally figuring out, like, yeah, it's time for me to leave this alone because I want something better for myself. Now, let's close it out with some love messages. Who else got this? I think it was Virgo. This addiction card. Okay. Now, you could be dealing with somebody that has an addiction. They wear a mask. And, like, over here I was saying, they might have a good job. So they might do nice things for you every now and again. But a lot of times they do it to keep you there, right? They do it to gaslight you a little bit, because that's kind of what this smoke and mirrors look gives me, right? Because whoever you've been dealing with is a toxic attachment, right? You could be addicted to them, and maybe not addicted to them. You're addicted to their mask, the person that they pretend that they are, the financially stable one. But how often are they financially stable? How often do they give you something? Do they give you something and then you go and give them 10 things to make up for the one thing they gave you? I honestly feel like it's not the best message. Of course, nobody wants to think about having to let go of somebody that you love, especially if you've become addicted to them and the things that they do for you or don't do for you. A lot of times it could be addiction to the adrenaline rush of the on and off, and when things are good, they're really, really good, and when things are bad, they're horrible. I think this is the month of you really letting go of the toxic attachment to something, whether that be, a job that promises you a raise and never fulfills it, and if they do give you a raise, it's like 2 cents, and you're like, what is 2 cents gonna buy me? Even if it's added by 40 hours, 80 cents, it's like a nickel and dime kind of energy, and it kind of feels like maybe somebody's been breadcrumbing you to keep you stuck and to keep you from asking the hard questions. But I feel like this is the month you're truly gonna get to the bottom of that. But only take what resonates for you, as always. It could not be your message. It may not be for another Scorpio out there. But I love y'all guys, my dearest Scorpios. And now we're going to be moving on to Sagittarius. Alright, Saggies, let's start you at 38 minutes and 30 seconds. Alright, Saggies. My dear Saggies, welcome to September. I love you guys. Now what we're going to do is we're going to first pull a Moonology card to see overall energy for the month of September for you. What do you need to be aware of? We've got don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo. It matches the scenery. Leo is all about that excitement, passion, movement. But it can also be prideful. So there's something that you may need to look at this month as far as like where your pride may be getting in the way of you succeeding, but we're going to look. All right, so the first card I'm going to pull is what is coming towards you this month. A surprise that you don't see coming. All right, what do you need to release? And the message that Spirit has for your greatest and highest good. Okay. Three of Swords. Nobody wants the Three of Swords. And so when I say surprise, you're like, well, that's not great. That's not something I'm gonna be excited for. But looking at these other cards, I think for a while you've known that something wasn't right in a relationship or partnership, or maybe it's even your job. And so maybe you've held on to it for too long because your ego said, well, it looks good, it tastes good, it feels good, but it's not good for your heart. So you might come to some kind of heartbreak. Maybe you break up. Maybe you find out something, right, about a person. Maybe you have a misunderstanding. Whatever it is. It might hurt a little bit. Not everything in life is going to be rainbows and sunshines, and y'all know how I am. I'm going to always keep it clear. Now what you're needing to release. We've got the Two of Cups in reverse. Maybe at one time you thought this person was an upright Two of Cups. Somebody that saw you, somebody that loved you, somebody that was nurturing, compassionate. You had mutual feelings for one another, right? But over time, you realized that you were clinging to something out of like a codependency. Like maybe you felt like you were rescuing this person or enabling this person, whatever it is. But you finally come, and that might be what the hard truth is that this person is no longer the person that you saw in the beginning. And the best advice from Spirit, the Six of Swords, is to recognize the truth of a situation and set yourself free from it. Moving on to better days, moving on to calmer waters, moving past arguments, disagreements. And I'm not saying just walk away from somebody because they're not, who they say they were in the beginning. So some things and some relationships can be worked out. But there are some that you've tried over and over and over again, and this person kept showing you the same version. And so I think you're just fed up and you're like, okay, I'm over it, I'm done, I'm out. When it comes to the month of September, it's like they're not the same person I originally fell in love with. So what's the use of even staying anymore? But I'm going to clarify each of them and see. All right, Three of Swords. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. Maybe lately you've been looking to the future. Like maybe you've been in a situation and you've been looking for like a way out. You've been kind of scoping the horizon of like who's out there, what's going on out there. Because a lot of relationships that you end up in that are upside down like this are the type that they're to show you what you don't want, right? And so you're sitting here like, should I stay? Should I go? What should I do? 10 of Wands. This thing has just become too much for me. And as much as it's gonna hurt, I think it's time for you to realize that really at this point, if you stay, you're only hurting yourself. You have the power to go wherever you want, right? But you have to take that wand into your hand and make the decision to let go of all these things that you've been just hanging on. Like, oh, maybe tomorrow it'll get better. Maybe the next day it'll get better. The hope, but you've been also taking a lot of the pain, especially if you're dealing with somebody that's codependent. They always need more and more and more, and it's just never enough, right? Now let's look at this Two of Cups. Why are you needing to release this? Or what advice do we have? Okay. I think you're coming to the, like I said, that truth of, we've done this a few times. We've gone through it. We've gone round and round and round. And I was doing it because I always thought that we would end up at this victorious, happily ever after moment. But logically, now you're realizing is all it is a toxic loop. And if you want the Ten of Cups, Six of Wands, there's an upside down Two of Cups isn't going to give it to you. And as much as that truth that this Humpty Dumpty is holding, it's still a necessary thing to do, right? So, big hugs to anybody that's having to let go of somebody that they care about, somebody that they don't want to abandon. But choosing yourself is always going to be what the best advice for you is going to be, right? If it's time to go, it's time to go. And then I split to the Fool and the Judgment. When it's time to go, it's time to go. It's that final judgment. You know, it's like, I could do better. I could find anybody that would treat me better, right? And I could get a upside right Two of Cups, a lover, something. Okay, Six of Swords. Exactly. You're moving towards a committed connection. Somebody that understands what your security, what your safety, how to make you feel comfortable. That will be your everything, the Star. Their energy is healing. The Hierophant, they're committed to you and only you. You build things together. I do feel that you're realizing that what you're leaving behind you is just, if you look at it, it's a house of cards. And what happens to the house of cards? You gotta let them fall in order to build something better. It's like, I'd rather live in these 4 sticks with a piece of fabric on the top than to live in a house of cards. So because you're willing to make this hard choice, I do feel you're going to be rewarded with something really beautiful on the other side of it. So, all right, we're going to get some message of love just to close it out. See if there's any other advice from Spirit for you. One more. And because you're willing to throw your hands up and surrender, it's awakening you, it's enlightening you, it's an epiphany. This could be the epiphany over this, like, I deserve the world, I'm gonna go. Beaches could be important. What's gonna happen? Romantic feelings and magnetic attraction. Because you're willing to let go, your energy is now attracting somebody that is a Two of Cups. This is the Two of Cups you want. This is somebody that is alluring, irresistible, falling in love, affection, all of the great things that this may have once pretended to be, but it just isn't, right? So, and it could be the change in the seasons, because I've done 4 readings so far and they all seem to be pointing at the same thing. It's time to get rid of the dead leaves, let them fall, so something else can be, you know, brought back better. But to be honest, I feel this is just clarity for whoever this message is for. Maybe they've been weighing the idea back and forth inside of their head for a while, and you're like, maybe I just needed somebody to confirm it for me, that me walking away isn't leaving them behind, that they're not going to change, you know. And getting the pride out of the way too, because a lot of times we'll stay in a relationship because we're like, but they said in the beginning they were worthy, and I saw in the beginning that they were worthy. And I still want to prove to the world that they're worthy, not because of love anymore, but because of codependency. So anyways, I'm going to shuffle these back in. We're going to move on to Capricorn. And this is definitely going to be a 2-parter because it's already going on an hour. And I don't sit still well for things. So I'm gonna do Capricorn and Aquarius, and then we'll do a part 2. Alright, so Capricorns. Let's pull a Monology card for you to see what exactly is this eclipse season September gonna bring in for you. That's too much. Yeah, that's too much. I took the one that just fell out apart from the others. We've got surrender to the divine, full moon. There could be something that you're needing to surrender to the divine. We'll find out more in the rest of this reading, but we're going to start with what surprises or what is moving towards you in the month of September. Trying to see. It came out this way. Okay. I just couldn't tell if it was upside down or upside right. Alright. So, it's funny because the Eight of Wands, we ask, what is coming towards you? What surprises are coming? And the Eight of Wands is basically movement. Is something coming towards you. So it doesn't really answer the question. Just like the Death card. What do you need to release? Death card. That's a release, right? So it's basically telling me that what's coming is coming and what's leaving is leaving. And that's a definite, right? The Eight of Wands says it's happening pretty quickly. Swift communication, things taking off, movement, etc. Now, what you're releasing, the Death card. It could be something that has been over for a while and you know it has, but it's needed to, like, that final nail in the coffin, maybe. And advice from Spirit, King of Coins. Security, stability, strength, abundance. King of Coins is always that family man, right? The marriage material type of guy. The one that's got the inheritance, the legacy. But I'm going to get some clarifiers because basically they told me exactly what the question was. So let's see what is coming. Not that it's coming. What is coming, though, for my collective of Capricorns for the month of September? Okay. Okay. I'm kind of getting... What's coming towards you is... the truth about something. This could also be like a return of something, communication from somebody coming back. It might be different for each of you Capricorns, but it's like what's coming towards you is like you having to make that final judgment call over a situation. Does it provide you with what you provide to it, or are you just giving too much of yourself for a person, place, a situation? It's time to make a decision. Not with the heart, though, but with the mind. It could also be, it's time that you've received from what you've given back, like karmic retribution or whatever. You finally getting your just desserts for whatever that is in life. Now we're going to look and see what is this Death card, because what do you need to release? Okay. 10-10 could be significant, but I feel what needs to be released is something has ended a very long time ago. And tens are all about like the world, the ending and the beginning of something new. Ten of Cups, Ten of Coins is the best tens to get though, because that's love, happiness, abundance. But I feel like you've been in a cycle of the Death card, which is basically like shedding your skin, letting it go, maybe like the snake, you know, cleansing, moving, whatever. Um, and what Spirit is saying is like, okay, well, release it. It's been sitting there forever. Maybe you've been like grieving something, expecting it to come back, expecting it to be different, but Spirit's like, no, it's done. And the sooner that you can, and it says surrender it to the divine. So it could be a relationship that at one time you thought was going to be your everything, or a job that you thought would get you to the ultimate success. And you know it's been over for a while. You know it's like never going to be that idea of what you thought it was going to be. So it's time to give it to the divine. Whether it comes back or it doesn't, it's no longer your business, right? It's time to start fresh. If you can't leave the tens behind, you'll never have that new beginning. So it's time for you to like set yourself free in order to live again. That's kind of the way I feel it. So you might have been like in a relationship that it just kept getting harder and harder and harder. They were in and out, in and out, in and out, and you were like, I'm done with it, but your insides were still waiting for it to be resurfaced or reformed. And so now you're having to be like, you know what, it's time. I've got to give it off and whatever. One thing I always tell myself is, or like I pray, is I denounce any and every soul tie or attachment that is not for my highest and greatest good. And it does help to clear the energy. So you might want to try some kind of visualization, or, you know, why all of a sudden my words got stuck in my mouth. That could be the problem, is like not wanting to speak it. Okay, so for your greatest and highest good, we've got the Page of Cups, the Devil, and the Queen of Wands. Okay. This is basically telling me in order to be the highest and greatest version of yourself, you can't use love as an excuse, right? Because I think whatever this is to you, it did hold a lot of toxic value to it. And if you want to be the King of Coins, you can't hold on to things that are of very minimal value. You may have held on to it out of fear, out of like an inner child wound, or it just was attractive, like it looked good. And it could also mean like you were attracted to something for the money that it potentially offered, or the benefit of it, and it ended up being nothing like you thought it was originally. And during that, you've kind of lost that playful spirit, you've lost your magic, you've lost a lot in the meantime. So Spirit, their advice, the best thing you can do is just send it off with love and light. Focus on yourself and building your stability and security, and the passion will come. But you've also got to not be tempted backwards into repetitive cycles, because maybe that's what that was too, is like the temptation of it will get better. But let me pull some love cards to finish it off for you. Ghosted. So this could involve a ghosting situation. Somebody that pulled back. And you've always still felt somewhere, some way connected to them, as you can see the hand kind of coming back, the ghost, the illusion. Maybe you considered them a friend, and so you expected when they said something that it would end up being that way. Like, I'll never forget you, I'll never not talk to you. And the truth behind it is, it's like, is that the way you would treat a friend? By not giving them the truth? So maybe acknowledging that maybe on some level, yes, at one time y'all were friends, but you wouldn't treat your friends like that, right? So the truth is like clarity. It could be secrets that have been revealed. Maybe you hear it from a friend of a friend that this person has moved on, and or they talk to one of your friends, and your friends are like, they don't want to have anything to do with you, and that's the truth. And it might be a hard truth, but I think it's going to help you to finally quit holding on to the ghost of a situation, or the hope that it can be something else. But that's what I got for you, my dearest Cappies. I love you so much. I did not timestamp your reading, but I think it was somewhere around like 50 minutes. Alright, so now we're going to move on to Aqua in 1 second. But Capricorns, I hope September is an amazing month for you. And now I remember why I don't do all signs reading, because it's a lot of energy to take in one go. So we're definitely going to do a part 2 for the Pisces through Leo. Gotta re-get that energy back up. What y'all think of my background? Y'all like it? A little fall leavage. And that's not even a thing. Leavage. We got the fall leavage going on here. Alright, 1 second. Aquas. I'm just shuffling Capricorn's cards. Let's see. Last little go. And Aquas, we got you at 103. How about that? Dearest Aquas. Alright, Aquas, let's see what's going on for you for the month of September. First, we're going to pull a Moonology, being that we are stepping into eclipse season. Let's see. Oh no. We have got work through your fears. What are you scared of, my dearest Aquas? I've known a lot of Aquas, but never really seen them to be scary type. But let's see. What is September gonna bring, my dearest Aquas? Alright, what is September? What do you need to release in the month of September? Okay. And messages for your greatest and highest good from Spirit. Alright. Okay. Prepare for change. And what's funny is the autumnal equinox. It kind of feels like fall equinox, right? Fall harvest. That's what's coming. Now, what it's saying is what's coming towards you during this time is the timing for it is a few months. It says make long-term plans, express gratitude, harvest fall. So this could be your harvest, right? From something that you planted maybe 5 months ago. Now, why are we releasing the 10 of coins? I think Virgo had that too. For me, this is maybe at one time this was like, the Ten of Coins to you was very different than it is now. Maybe you got into a relationship and at the beginning it was amazing. You were like, this is my forever person. I found them. And now they're not, you know, trying to take, maybe it's like holding on, you've been holding on to expectations surrounding like what your perfect partner looks like. But maybe you're also scared of having that happily ever after, the family, the car, the dogs, because a lot of times that can happen, especially with like air signs. The Ten of Coins looks very different for air signs than it does to, let's say, water signs. It's very planned out, right? It's very, they are all about their money. Um, but maybe that's what's missing is the family part of it. Maybe you've got the money down, but not the family part. Anyways, I'll get more clarifiers in a minute. Now, what the advice from Spirit is the Six of Cups and the Knight of Swords. And I kind of feel it has to do with this. It's like some kind of familiar trauma from like childhood. Or it could even be, like I said in the beginning, it looked amazing. Memories of that perfect beginning is keeping you from moving forward, whereas it should be what's setting you free. But let's get some clarifiers, get a little bit more information. Okay. This gives me a long fought hallelujah. Okay. So you've been working on something, whatever that was. It's been a long time coming. You have had to fight and fight and fight for whatever this is. And it seems like it's taken forever. It's kind of like I planted some tomatoes. And I don't know what's going on with the bees right now or the weather or whatever. But it shouldn't take this long. And I've done everything to try to make these things grow. And then they grow and they got like slits in them and all kinds of weird stuff. So I think you've kind of come across the same thing. It's like, man, I've put in the work, I've been patient, I've fought through the adversities of it. Well, now it's time to reap. And so what I feel, whatever you've been chasing is about to catch up. Like it said in there, it's like harvest time. Now that could mean like you're finally going to find that great job. You're going to get whatever it was that, you know, you've been putting so much time, energy, and effort into. Show the rewards. Now, let's look at this releasing, because, yeah, I kind of feel like you still have love for this, whatever this is that you're releasing. Like, some kind of love. Like, maybe it's just an unconditional love, because the Page of Cups to me is that, like, I'm going to love you through the thick, the thin, the ugly, the whatever. And maybe you made a commitment to somebody. Maybe you married somebody. But what happened? Either they split or you split. Or at least emotionally. Because I feel you're sitting at this Two of Wands looking like, should I stay? Should I go? Should I leave it behind? Because I can't find them anywhere, right? And it's like maybe you've gone through this repeat of like every time you're about to fully move on, they come rushing back with all the right words to say, and they pull on those heartstrings. They say, I'm going to be better this time. Don't you remember when we did all these fun things and blah, blah, blah. And Spirit's saying maybe you're just fearful of letting things go. Because I know for me, up until this point in my life, anything I ever let go of had claw marks on it. Like, I literally tried my everything to hold on to it. Until I realized that it doesn't, the more you hold on to something, the more it stagnates it, and the more it makes it worse. So maybe that's why you need to surrender it. Maybe that's why you need to release it. Because maybe you've been holding on too tight. And you know there's something better out there for you. Or you're starting to see that. So, let's see. What is the Spirit advice to you? I think it's exactly what I just said, honestly, from these cards. Because we have the Page of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups, and the Six of Wands. If you want that new beginning, you have to walk away from this first. No matter how much, like, good memories you had with this situation, no matter how many things that did look right, you've got to focus more on, like, but are they giving you enough for you to build something with? And a lot of times that tells me, like, they're always going to give that bare minimum, you know, or they only have given you the bare minimum. So it's time to recognize that, like, yeah, it may come back, but there is a pig up here. So, like, maybe when pigs fly, it can come back around. But for now, it's like time you need to walk away and choose yourself, because if not, you're showing people how to treat you. Like, it's okay to breadcrumb me. Of course I'll take you back. Lie to me all you want. It's fine. It's fine. Don't give me anything. I don't need anything. So, but the funny thing is, like, once you can work through the fear of actually detaching yourself and walking away, what happens? The Six of Wands, victory, success, all of the things that you've been missing out on, holding on to something that basically, yes, at one time it did look fantastic, but it ended up becoming more of a codependency, an addiction, than it did bringing necessary things into it. So now I'm going to pull some love cards, and only take what resonates with you as always, and leave the rest. If it doesn't match your energy, then, you know, move on to the next. There's plenty of other readings out there. But let's get some love messages for my dearest Aquas. Now, you may have already attracted somebody different than this Ten of Cups that needs to go, because what I'm seeing is, what do you want? Do you want the magnetic attraction, or do you want the wedding? There may be two possibilities here in your energy right now. You're still holding on to something from the past, which is causing too much interference, whether they're in their, like, in the 3D right now in your face or not. Because what I feel is, it's like you're already triangulating a situation, because your mind is off of this magnetic attraction, because you had this strong chemistry with the person at first. Didn't work out. They may even have put you in third party. Or do you want this wedding, right? Do you want the person that's going to take it all the way? And if this person ain't taking it all the way, you need to get rid of them, because otherwise, like I said, you're triangulating the energy. And you need to make it more of a 2-person than a 3-person. Like, there's too many energies here. So what I'm getting is, the more that you can align with the fact that some things just, you have to get rid of them. You can't hold on to two things at the same time, because what if something really good comes along? Your hands are not open and receptive, because they're holding on to something different. Like, if I've got a vape and a pen in my hands, and somebody offers me something, what am I going to do? My hands are full. I can't really do much unless I try to work with, like, my wrists, or, you know, like, it closes off the energy. So, and I think it's just something to do with, like, this fall season. It's like the things that are no longer meant for us falling away, and then greater things coming in, you know. So don't get discouraged, because I do see you've got the choice of somebody really great. It's just you can't grab a hold of them because your hands are full right now. So, I want to thank every one of you for your love and support to my channel. It means so much to me. And I will probably be doing the part 2 on Thursday. So if you're going to be looking out for that, make sure to keep your eyes out. I'm going to post this one pretty soon. But if you enjoyed it, please make sure to engage, like. Let me know in the comments how it resonated with you. And I love you all. Let me finish shuffling and then I'll say my goodbyes. If you watch my live readings, y'all know I'm horrible at goodbyes. So this is just one example of that. Okay. So I love you all. Have an amazing September. And if you need me, I do offer personalized readings. Links in the description box. Love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye.